History repeats itself, so once again, Zoo will eventually lose first. Alright, let's get this party started. Where art thou? PC games. Continue. When I get lazy again. Right. Alright, so let's get the couple mathematics specifications, and we're gonna work on this today. I'm sorry, what in the absolute terroristic BS did you just say? No. There's no my friend made me. You have free will. Oh, never mind. I remember what we were doing today. I 1000% now just remember what we're doing today. Save and quit. Copy world. I remember what we were doing. I said we were going to create a, we were going to do that zombie grinder. This is for the girl, that's not a sin. Just a pain to win. It better be for real, the real thing. Alright. So today I've got to remember how to build my Z grinder test 1. Please don't be wrong. Please don't fail. Z grinder test 1, please don't fail. Okay. So okay. So the lanterns are in the actual directions of the thing. It's just worse C7. Yes. Alright. Alright, if I remember correctly, it is... We gotta take out the full wall. Of course I do that. I mean, yeah. Oh yeah, it's a trash design through and through. Okay, so that we know we've added a wall here, we're gonna use... We already have wood, so... Just put this this in here to show that we filled that up. Okay. Alright, so it should be this, and then I think it goes down... We'll see if this is right to start. Oh, plays and is, like, deeply invested in it. Poor soul. Like, that's just straight up bless her heart. Coffee time. Nice. Okay. How many boxes is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I don't think it's ever 6 down. I think it's 7. Alright. So... right on time when I added it to the list. Nice. Alright. So that is our hole. All I know is my life skill changes aren't there. That's all that matters. They're not there, so I don't care. Hello there, how's it going? How are you doing today? Doing great. Very nice, very nice. All right. 'Cause, 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 'cause Now, we know that that's going to need to be here. Put that there for the moment. Okay. So that moves them away. This is really hard to do for memory. It has been a very, very long time since I built one of these. And if I did that, it creates the negative flow that way. Alright. Okay, which is what we want. We want it to push here. Actually. Does this work? Am I allowed to put a magma block next to that and it not make a and it not melt the packed ice? Because actually I think we would want to do this. Or wait, no, it's not that. Hold on. I'm stupid. It's the other one. It's soul sand. Because that's going to bring him down. We want to go up. Yeah, that's what we're wanting. There we go. Alright. So that would need to be filled in. Okay. Now, if we... Okay, so we're on 31 here. So I need to go up. $21 blocks, I believe, to 41. Okay, so I need to face this way because it needs to go back out. Let's put that there for the moment. Put that there. Okay, so this would be the bubble elevator going up. All right. So we want to get a drop shaft to fall at 423. We need to be there when it drops. No. We wanted to bring it back some. That was what the first test today was going to be. We want to make it short, so we want to get it to where it's past, let's say, 432. Then we're going to save this world, copy it, and then we will continue working on the idea. But first we need to do a rough design here of this, which is redstone lamp, sticky piston, and I just need to get it to go up, so I think it's like a redstone torch. Or if I do. There we go. All right. And then if we cancel, all right. So What you mean to say is at least you're not playing BDO. Wait, there is no way that thing is that far up. Am I literally digging into the... Yes, I'm literally digging into the wall. It's like at 30... Yeah, I went way too far with that. Hold on. Okay. So, that just makes the mechanism. That's all we want. So, all right. So now we will. Now we'll copy this world. Now that we have the basic on-off mechanism. Caving the way to Smash Bros. Yeah. All right. So now that I think about it, we actually want to do this. Throw it that there. Get it away from the drop shaft. Pop it. There. Okay, so that's... Oh, I just realized something. I did just realize something. And it is... Yep, too far. But I am not the sharpest tool in this shed. Because that needs to be there. So that when we flick the switch, it retracts. Alright, I'm gonna turn that torch off. Alright, so that technically would work if we wanted it. Alright, there we go. Okay, so we've got the actual lighting mechanism working. So now we need to create a duplicate of this. And now we set up tunnel 1. Which is going to be the shorter one. What do you mean? Oh, I see. Okay, so we're gonna go... We want to drop it to where... I think we want the zombie to hit here. Is where we're gonna want our zombie friend to drop. We're gonna drop him in that hole. Well, yeah, no, I can do this. Alright. And that's just so that we don't kill him. Okay, so we actually need to think about this. If this is ground level at 39, where we're going to end up actually dropping them, we need to carry this up, I think. Let's just Google it. How many blocks to kill a zombie? There is something about zombies in Minecraft that if you merely drop them 23 blocks for fall damage, they will take 2 punches to kill rather than 1 punch like other mobs. 23.5 is the same as 24 blocks. Simply kill them. Alright, so we want them to fall 23 blocks from here. So we're at, what is it? 39. So we need to go up to 62 is how high up we need to go. To the floor. Oh, that's awkward. Hello there. How's it going? Okay, this is a little weird playing Minecraft. I think the servers are already turned on. It wouldn't matter. Today's Minecraft day anyway. There's no way. I'm at 59. Minus. Resume game. I just pulled up my trident to 39. I did a 20 block drop. You're trying to find a Vindictus 1.65 EU client for server. Wanted to play offline. Interesting. Okay, so we're gonna patch that hole. Okay. So I want to go up this way and temporarily put one of these here so I can see. Okay, so let's go over to this shaft. Okay, so we may have to build a zombie moving casing here. All right. So we'll put a sign right there. Buongiorno. All right. So it's 8 from here. I think that's the proper way of doing it. Because the bubble will stop here. Okay, so then they get bumped. They come here. Okay, so the water elevator moves there. And then we need it to be at what mark? We need it at 428. We need the hole. The diggy hole. Now see, I don't like that negative fill right there. Okay. and they're gonna get pushed, and then they would fall here. Which we're gonna safely bring them down, which is fine. So... if this works, we'll have a, we'll have the right, because I'm trying to keep it behind this, so that the zombie grinder is actually inside the wall, which is roughly what this is supposed to be, like right here. Alright, so let's go kill all these lanterns in here so that crap will spawn. We're gonna get rid of that block, put a normal block there. And for safety measures, let's seal that room off. Now, if I designed this right, I flick lever, that spawns zombies. Okay, I can see the flaw, I think, in that design. Okay, so far we have no zombies actually getting in there. And it's a flow issue, like I thought. Okay. Okay. That works. Now... they should bump into this as they fill up and get pushed into the grinder. We have our first zombie coming over. Splat. Alright, so we have an issue here. It's not getting him out of the room fast enough. So we're going to need to improve that mechanic the most. That seems to be the big thing we need to improve. So I need to come up with some sort of system to get them out of that room better. Alright, so I think and this is going to slow it down because it's not killing them too, so that's going to also be an issue. Alright, I think I've seen enough. We need to go back to the other world. We need to get the... We need to redo the hole to take them up. So this mechanism isn't going to work. All right. Let's think about this. All right, we let it fall off there. What happens if instead we put this plank there? Now let it come to here. Yeah, I'm trying to remember how I did this. And I think I might have figured out what I had originally had done. Alright. Which was, I think, I came down one more. Which allows me to run... the sand there. And that's the issue. It needs to be a downward flow. That has to have the water block on top of it. Okay. What if... That's fine. Getting them here, because they're going to get pushed into that block as they fall in. That's fine if they stay stagnant here while it charges up. The idea is just to singular push them in here and they don't get stagnant, because as soon as they get bumped into this, they're gone. So this block is fine here, because they get bumped, and up they go. And the ice is just to help this flow faster, because they will actually move faster on sliding ice than they will if this was stone. So... okay, I get bumped. And up we go. So we know this works for the most part. So let's just go ahead and grab one of these real quick and just bring them up here. And they can chill in that. Okay. Okay, so we aren't gonna drop them this time. All right. So we need more to start spawning. Within this range. Let's see if they're moving out. You know, it's going to be very rare we actually use this. So am I going to actually care for efficiency? Well, we've got one of the most efficient zombie flesh grinders right here. which is going to be basically this built right here, but for normal zombies. Because we go up here, we should have a bunch of friends just waiting for us. Odd, how there's not a single zombie up here. Yeah, see, there's one. I mean, he might be out of render distance, so he's not staying spawned in. Darn, how did I build this thing? I don't think this is it. It felt more... It felt more efficient than this. I mean, there's still stuff I miss that I can't get. It just doesn't want to cough it up. You know, I'm wondering if it's the bubble. I'm wondering if it's trying to use the soul sand. What if? What if we had the pool of water there? They created the bounce. I put the sign there. It flows them to the bounce. Now they're bouncing in this. And now I think we're cooking. Why do we have a reverse flow going on here? Okay. We are going to stop that right there. No. Okay, you put that there. That runs to there. Darn, it's so close, but it's not it. Because that has to be there. That has to be there. Okay. I'll bite. No, because this is going to have to be connected going up. Because we would need this to stack water to take us up. So that doesn't quite work either. Which is on volume. Nice. I think the issue is the bubble elevator. For some reason, I'd be willing to bet money that originally I had it like this. So let's say it pushes you here. You have a block there. And then you'd put a block here, a block there, block here. Because there should be a way to naturally make them float. But I don't think this technique's gonna work anymore. It doesn't feel right. Because basically it's just sign, skip, Sign. Skip. Sign. And it would be these blocks of air carrying them up. That doesn't feel like it's the... I mean, I guess at this point... So the natural mechanic of the water of the sign used to be, it would create an air pocket to not choke so they wouldn't drown out and die on the way up, because they would technically suffocate before you could get them up top. So the signs were there to give them a brief air pocket so they wouldn't suffocate going up. Because they would supposedly naturally float up, but I think with the introduction of drowns, they make them sink now. Their natural instinct isn't to float upward anymore. They'll just drown out. So that it creates the drowned NPC. So at this point, all I'm trying to do is getting them away from the spawner so that they can get in there. Oh, I'm sure it will be. It's definitely getting them away from the spawner itself, doing this. We have our little zombie friends right there, chilling. Like, it's getting him out of the room, which is what's technically needed for this. So that might be the thing. We just use a tunnel, get them out, and because they're spawning more consistently now. So it's just getting the drop shaft put right, and it looks like we can drop them right here so we can make a trident killer. Because they'll die before that thing ever gets inefficient. On a one tap off of a trident will easily kill them. Yeah, because see, they're not staying in here. As soon as the next one comes in, it pops them up and it sends them on their way. So... Alright, so, with that in mind... We need to figure this out real quick. So, and then we'll go, I think, actually start tunneling out this area and cleaning it up on the real world. So I need... We're just going to grab a couple observers. We've got the glass. So let's see how this works. So we've got a normal piston. We got the arrow pointing into the piston. Okay, so we want that sitting there. We want that sitting there. And that's going to need to be away from this thing. When it comes time. Okay. So it's only $2 exposed over here. Which I think it goes that. Maybe. I'd have to go look at the trident pattern. You know, whatever. We get the idea that there's going to be something. Inside those 4 squares right there. Because that should be a piston there. I think that's an observer. I think these are actually like redstone torches, I think, in that area. Okay, so let's just assume this is it. I already see an issue with the design. It needs to go back one more. With this wall. Which now brings concern. How much further do I have to go before I'm in that room? 1, 2. I'm only gonna have 2 blocks to deal with. Alright, that's fine. Okay, so... I'm not gonna actually build the full trident thing. I just want the rough structure of it so that we, so that I can get the idea of what I want to do right here. So this would come back. This points in. Get rid of that. That would sit there. And then a piston would sit there. Alright, so the reason for that is I need to keep a space for... We're going to use this torch as a redstone torch for this. But that needs to be a torch, that needs to be a torch. So that when I build the wall... Get all this extra junk out of here, because this is what's really screwing me up. Having all that loot in there from that garbage, I mean, I could technically... Alright, so... This one may have to be unique. Because it's baked into the... You know, maybe like something like this might end up having to be what that has to be for, like... Oh, this isn't gonna work if I want to do what I want to do there. Because that's exposed. Which means... No, hold on. Lava could flow down. We can do a lava flow. It just... I have to, Yeah, it would work. All right. So then that means that would be lava. This would be here. Interesting. So you really think they're gonna go Evangelion? Need a miner's hat with a light? I like the way you think. Also, hello there. How are you doing today? Okay, so this is what sucks about this. It's not mathematically correct and it's triggering me. Because this whole thing's divided by 3s, not 2s. So this is very much concerning to me. Slept like an angel? Nice. I slept. Just let's put a period there. I slept. Oh, and then I got to work. I mean, outside the raging factor that this is not mathematically center, I could live with it if I had to. So this is part of my, this is a creative world we're in temporarily. And we're trying to finish the add-on here. So my original idea was this. I've been working on this for almost a year, Chloe. This is my gold grinder in my world. And we discovered this pretty early on, within like the first month, that we had like this cool fairy grotto type cave thing down here that we're gonna eventually make. And I wanted to add on this other wing. Well, I don't really have a mine yet. Like, I do, and I'll show it to you in a second. But this is just my gold farm that sits right up here above the, at the top of the lake. So, it's a 23 by 23 nether portal. That is, sits right here upon the lake, right up here where my gold, or my iron farm, and... Oh no, I can, I'll show you the actual mine. But this is the gold farm because I play on hard mode. So I need gold as a staple to make golden apples. And well, I needed EXP, thus the zombie grinder. This thing took so long to perfect because of this. Making a looting 3 version of my, making a looting 3 certified version of the auto sorter was a pain in my butt. But hey, I've got auto smelting right here, and I've got 8 to 10 hours of AFK gold farming right there. Oh, and just because, I had to put a glow squid farm in. So I can farm glow squids from the same area. Nope. This is all vanilla. I'm literally playing on Minecraft Bedrock Edition. Why? Because of RTX. So all you're seeing is Minecraft RTX. So I'm working on this idea of adding this little section in at that's gonna give us another wing to look out at the because we're gonna Flutter and I are gonna eventually put a Night is just a god at MC. No, I'm not. I suck at this game. I'm gonna be real. But we're gonna build a tree in here, and we're gonna make it like a fairy grotto type concept inside this room, so it looks really cool, and it's something neat to look out at from the gold grinder in this area. Because it gave me this nice little lush cave. Well, let's make it actually look like a lush cave. No, so this is literally just my world. And I invite Flutter on occasionally to come help me out because, one, I can feel the rage of her from chat. Just, I can feel the eyes glaring at me, and I can't see her, but I can feel them. And she helped me terraform an area. And you know what? Let's just go ahead and give you the world tour. Let's show you the world! So, gold farm. Enchanting area, the usual thing you need to survive and thrive in Minecraft. But this is a single player world, and I've actually thought about if we get enough people interested, I will fire off a real, like, actual LP server. Alright, so I'll take you to my 1-year anniversary of this world, where Flutter definitely helped out. We set over, like, 3,000 TNT to blow a hole in this mountain. And this is gonna become, like, a corrupted, like, nether area at some point. This is the biggest project I'm gonna have on the, on this world, is probably converting this all over to look like nether. But we sent a whole charge off. It was great. It was fun. And now I've got to collect a bazillion buckets of lava. So that's over here, which is one of my future soon projects. Soon with a TM on it. Very soon. This was one of my earlier projects, which was needing an iron farm. So I built an iron golem farm, and I plan on tweaking this a little bit. Probably before we work on this, I'm going to tweak this and add it in to have an auto sorter down here at the bottom of the, gold farm somewhere down there. This was quite a extensive project, but if you have a bazillion iron, what are you going to do with it? Well, let's make 5,600 hoppers and build a tree farm with all of the woods from the overworld. So we've got 5 platforms each. All of them are surrounded by hoppers underneath so that we don't lose our drops as we're over here farming. We have a little composter area I built, just for funsies. And then this area is all safe to be in at night until I did this, and now I need to go back and fix this so that mobs can't spawn over there. And now we'll head over to more the developed end of the world. So the first thing I did when I discovered this view right here, comes swinging in right here. This was one of the first things we found when we started playing this world. I spawned in over there, and I came walking over here, and I saw this, and I said, I'm gonna make this my home. So I have. So this will eventually be the view from the back part of my house. So one of the first things we did is we came over here and started working on the farmland, because playing in hard mode, starving is a thing. So we started working on this. It was fun, good time. As we were starting to build the storage room to put all this crap, I was struggling with HP, so I needed to build a gold farm. In order to build a gold farm, I needed an iron farm. So this is going to be one massive storage system where it'll have chests 3 high on 3 floors. So we've got a lower floor, we've got an upper floor, yeah. So we built this little farm. It doesn't need to be super crazy. Trust me, I get that one person about every 4 or 5 streams comes in and asks, why don't you have like an auto wheat farm? Or why don't you have this automated big chunking sugarcane farm? You know that can be automated. You should build this big machine to make 100,000 of this in 1 hour. Bro, it's just me on this world. I can come over here and farm up enough carrots and potatoes that I will never starve to death. I'm good. Plus, the amount of golden apples I chug, I also get food from that. So let's fly over here and we'll show you where a lot of the development has been. You wanted to see mines, I will show you my mine real quick. So this is hidey hole. This is where I still live. People still get triggered. The fact that I still live in a hidey hole after a year of playing this game. So we've just got us a little lava farm, portal to the nether. But down here is to my hole, my diggy, diggy, diggy hole. I'm digging a hole. Diggy, diggy, diggy hole. We had to come through a cavern. Of course, life couldn't be simple, and me just tunnel straight down because screw the game. But we have definitely been a dwarf down here at one point or another. So here is layer 1, which is the base setup for a tunneling area. I was using this to farm out diorite. But then I have the tier 1 mine, which is where I was trying to get gold from. So we dwarfed our way through this, all efficient, you know, the whole 9 yards. But that wasn't good enough because Caves and Cliffs is one of the most horrible, absolute atrocious patches ever to come to Minecraft. And I need to find my thing. They had to make me go even deeper. Thus, I created the drop shaft. So, down here at the absolute bottom of the world, we have our tunnels. Now, I've only done 1 tunnel because, well, I only have done 1 tunnel so far. But as you can see, I have dwarfed the crap out of this. I'd make my stone brothers proud. And we came down here and we farmed out all sorts of crap down here. So I'd cut all this out, and I eventually got tired of strip mining, so I just said, screw it, I'll come back down here someday. So I have tunneled very much. Anytime I need deep slate, I just come down here and smack that. So now let's actually show you the project. This is where 80% of the time has been spent after the gold farm is up here. Up we go. Part of me says because this is a test world, I probably shouldn't care and just blast my way to the top. It'd be faster. But I'm gonna do this legit. Where is the hole? I'm sure there's a that's what she said in that. Alright. So. Actual Overlord. Here we go. So. Welcome to the... I put way too much detail into doing this. Yeah, so I was trying to hit the brackets of where, like, the concentrated chunk of gold would be. And then I was trying to get down to diamonds. And I don't like the... I don't like caves and cliffs because it's spread it out too much. And you can't just hit, like, a general area. Like, I would farm from Bedrock to, I think, 20 blocks up. So I'd have just above diamond level, and I would have strip mines at multiple levels in a tiered system. And I would get all the coal, all the iron, all the gold, all the lapis, everything I needed was in that 20 chunk block. And I had to, in one world, I spidered out thousands of blocks in all directions. Can't do that anymore because they ruined it. So... this is one of the back ends of the property. This is the farm area where we have chickens. We have a future home for pigs back there. We already have one of our horses here. Welcome to Bomber. We got this the day of the explosion on the mountain. We have a cow farm. On this side will be a mushroom farm. We have Brown Panda Island that we just finished about a week and a half ago. We have Rainbow Road, which is built in right here, which this will eventually be, all the colors of the sheep will be added right here. Meet Aisha. Our brown pandas are all named after Choco waifus from animes. You'll find this theme out, actually, except for 2. But after my original 2, everything's being named after Choco waifus from anime games or animes. So yeah, we have Brown Panda Island right here, which we just finished. This was a lot of fun, and it looks really cool at night. This was a lot of sea cucumber farming, and it was a pain in the butt. But it's really cool. It's kind of got this, like, lagoon kind of feel to it, but also kind of pretty, but also kind of random. And I don't know why I did this. While it's dark, we'll take you over to Brown Panda Temple, and we'll talk about that in a second. So we created this path, just randomly was thinking about how to lay it out to make it look good. We're eventually going to use this to go up the mountain and design something up there at some point, because it worked out so well how there was like this little mountainous cubby thing. So I popped a light in here so that we would know it's there and to keep mobs from not spawning and jumping me. But then we come over here to the setup for Brown Panda Temple. We created this whole area and made it what it is. It was not this when we started. So we added the lake, we've added the trees. We're building custom trees in the area to help make it feel not so boring. We're using the acacia design with different leaf and different wood patterns to break it up. Again, we've added ample amount of sea cucumbers over here to give it, you know, a nice mystical-ish feeling, however you want to describe it. And we'll head up to the Brown Panda Temple. So this was not a cherry forest when I started. This was 1.19. The cherry biome was not in the game. But I promise you, as soon as I got the snapshot, I went and found it. And we started working on making Brown Panda Island, or Brown Panda Temple. Now, unfortunately, this is not the first and the second Brown Panda of this server. Coca and Brownie are 2 and 3. We let the first one go, because I didn't have any name tags. The second one, or actually, this would be 3 and 4. The second one despawned on me. So...
Who ordered all this fucking anime titty?
Yes. So we've got Coca and Brownie here at Brown Panda Temple. It's a really cool place. This was probably one of the more dangerous builds I did, because any drop from up here as I was placing this would have been instant death, even with Feather Falling 3. But this was all placed on hard mode, and then we just basically took over a mountain and said, spam a bunch of cherry saplings and pray they grow. And that they did. I still need to come through and do one more lighting pass here at one night, because it is a little dark, and we don't want it, we don't want mobs spawning in this. We want this to be a safe area you can come to. Now to discuss this. My Parthenon looking village trade hall. This has been all bought and done with villagers. I farmed out of the nether from this corner to maybe right about here of actual quartz, and then I said, I'm going to do this with villagers. Screw this. So we created some, we got our villagers started, and then that whole saga took off, which was an absolute annoying piece of crap. That took us almost a week to get squared away on what was going on. So we have our villager trades here, and eventually this will be 150, I think 8 villagers that we'll have in here, which will be the wandering traders. It will be the villagers with all sorts of different things. They're not going to be min-maxed. We don't care. We just want the volume of them to do whatever we want, whenever we want. So the big important thing was to have were the block of quartz. In one night cycle, I could farm out what I did an entire day. So this was an enormous project that we're going to come back to at some point, and we will actually finish building all the different cells for the village trade center. There's so many things I realize I now know nothing about. I mean, I've played since alpha, and I was pretty in depth with it when I played, but I've learned a lot as we went along, and a lot of the rules and stuff that changed with the game as we played also really determined what we had to learn as we built this. So like a big one that we had is my villagers stopped refreshing. We had to figure out why. Come to find out, it was because I had a village breeder about where that waterfall is. I have maybe 100, 200 hours, so for me, it's more just mining is fun, diamonds go burr, you know. Oh yeah, no, that's normally it for me in a short run, but for the stream, to make a long-running series, I decided to really crack down and try to show what 2011 the game came out, so 13 years of playing Minecraft. What could I actually come up with? So it was more about trying to push myself to do things I normally don't do, because I don't normally build things this big. I would have been happy building maybe like 15, 20 of these things, and I'd have been perfectly fine. But because this is what we do on stream, I've been really trying to put in the extra detail into building something, because like just a month ago, This was all land. All this water we added was from me. Like, we put this in. I mean, I suck too. Especially when you watch, like, Flutter build, you're like, I feel retarded. She's over here with, like, an MIT level education building these insane structures, and I'm going, and the circle goes in the banana hole, and the square goes in the rectangular hole, and hope it fits. And next thing you know, she's got some contraption that's grinding things. I promise, it's probably smoke and mirrors. It's probably smoke and mirrors. So this is a work in progress, and we'll keep working on it over time, and eventually we'll come over here and work on the actual house that has not been built. But yeah, it's been a ride here on this world. We also have, you know, we have a nether fortress. We have a, nether fortress. We have a blaze grinder, so we can get blaze rods for the farm. We've got a witch farm off over in, I think it's that direction's the witch farm. And then here was, I'll show you the actual path, because this actually took a stream or two to build. So the idea for this is that mountain that I was showing you at the beginning. The idea is that you're going to take this cool, like, little nature path. This was way more complicated than this needed to be. And we have this little path that roams through the forest. Now, what's going to end up happening is the closer we get to this mountain, the more corrupt the land's going to look, to the point where when we hit these stairs, these are temporary stairs, but when we hit these temporary stairs, we are literally in what feels like the nether. So my idea is that as you walk up to this, you're going to see a very corrupted area of the nether that slowly works its way to less corrupted till about where I think it's like right around in here. Like right around here, it'll kind of taper out. So you'll see it kind of progress slowly. You know, like it'll come out into here. You'll start seeing some like weird things that you really wouldn't see in the overworld. And we're going to work it slowly up to the full thing. To give you an idea, I think I have that world still saved. Yes, test world with lava. Load anyway. Best thing I did was a church-looking thing for enchanting inside. Dies of crunch. Hey, that's actually a pretty smart idea. Alright, so the idea of this is you need to see this at night. Time set night slash rain weather clear. Alright, so imagine looking down, or imagine looking up at this kind of idea, and you see this like corrupted area. So the idea of this will be a full lava bottom, and I think Flutter made the comment, who would decorate with in her stream, who would decorate with ancient debris? Me. I'm gonna do it. And gilded blackstone will be littered in here. But the idea is that we're gonna create this like molten lava area, and this will become like an enchanting tower thing that we were trying to pace out and figure out kind of roughly how big and how tall would this thing need to be. So the idea is that it might come up to be around like this tall, that we can look out over the area. The crying obsidian that's laying around is trying to figure out a rough idea of how much corruption needs to go in the area. And it'll need to spread out a little bit cleaner than this. But this was like a first test, and we know that it kind of needs to come out over here. kind of come back up over here. And then, so that it doesn't cut off weird, it does need to droop down into, like, this more. We want it to feel like it's spreading. But this was the idea for the, corrupted area, is to give it this. But the cool thing is, we didn't really build much of it. But the idea was to show this, like, progression. We're gonna have, like, the obsidian at the bottom of the, then it's gonna go to, like, blackstone, and then it'll taper up into, like, the basalts, and, then we'll just hit the netherrack, where it'll all look like a netherrack block all the way up here, with some, like, soul sand patches in it. And really try to give it the nether feeling, with, like, burning, we'll have, like, some burning areas. We'll get the trees, the mushrooms, all the dirts. Like, it'll literally look as if this is being replaced one by one, block by block. This will get replaced with nether blocks, which is going to be an absolute nightmare to replace all these blocks just like that, to where the exterior of this blast becomes full nether. So many nether trips. That's, like I said, this is one of the biggest projects I'm going to have for this world, is creating the Alchemist Tower. But here's the really cool thing. It's the fact that you can see it in the render distance, just barely. You can tell as you get close, that thing's got lava pouring out of it. So when you're down here at the lake, you will be able to see that ambient glow coming from the Alchemist Tower area. So that's one of the, like, in-game plans of this world. But yeah, we're over here working on creating a... We're over here trying to create this zombie grinder, because this was the dumbest thing about my build, and if I'd have known this earlier, I would have totally have made this logically possible. So I just came over here when I was like, all right, I'm gonna build this. All I did is I came over to the lake and I said, I want my gold farm out in the middle of the lake. Why? It stops from any overworld mob spawning on top of it. So that saved me a bunch of torches. All right? Well, my forehead decided to say, let's go build it underground. So we did. And we hit a massive water pocket down here. This took so long to clean this crap out, because this thing was all, like, submerged underwater. And then I eventually kept pushing through the wall until I found that. And I was like, well, I guess I'm going to make this more open. If I would have designed this thing a little bit better, that gold block right here is just out of range of me being able to stand at this grinder and farm 2 spawners at once. If I'd have known that was there, that might have changed some things on how I approach this. But at this point, here's the cool thing. I'm in render distance of this. I can just turn that on and let it go if I wanted to run this one at the same time. This one's going to be unique, and I'm going to have to really figure this one out, which is why we're in here working on this today, is we know we need to come in here and carve this out, all right? So this has to be, because right now this is a window looking out at stone on my real world. So I'm going to need to take this wall out. We need to build it off so that this is caved in, or this is closed in. So we're going to need to get this done in the next day or two of Minecraft whenever we play. We also need, the stone shouldn't be an issue. The wood shouldn't be an issue. Lava is easy to come by. But we need to get this kind of like set up. We also need to come in here and I think it should be tamed. So I think I've already got the torch on it on the real world. But we need to build the zombie grinder that we were working on. I need to get that actually mechanically set up. And then we'll finish off this room, which will be basically this, but over here. So wherever there is glass, there will be lava behind it. The more you talk, the more I realize I know nothing about Minecraft. Oh, come on. It's not that hard. Take block build thing. That's what this is. Take block build thing. That's all I've done. So this will be a interesting little area. I don't know what we'll end up putting in here to make it actually practical. Farms, auto stuff. I'm here like, okay. I mean, let's be real. This is, probably in, like, 2012, 14, I was like, okay, I need to look up on how to do this. And you do this crap enough and long enough, you're kind of like, alright, I got this. I kind of remember how to do this. And then they changed the mechanic on you. I mean, the enchanting's pretty cool. I'll have to say, though, this really sucks now. As an old fart of this, having to use lapis to enchant with now sucks. Yes, useless lapis finally got some great purpose in this world. Yes, we can now strip enchantments so that we can strip enchantments and not need to make 1,000 swords just for enchanting. You can just rip it all into books, strip the books, and keep playing this game until you run out of EXP. And with the gold farm that I've got, we can farm up several hundred levels of experience really quick. So my little enchantment area is quite humble. I didn't build a church for it. I just did this little setup here. Which was quite annoying to do because this was right at the edge of burn griefing. So I had to be very quick with getting this placed so that I didn't... Because the blocks are actually on stone and glass, so it's sealed off. But if you wait just long enough in placing the lava to putting the glass down, it would start griefing and burning the wood. So you had to be very quick at doing this or else this whole thing would start burning. I also had to be very careful because when I was working on this down here, I had to learn to place those blocks. I had to take up those blocks so that when I actually made this, I didn't drop lava down here. Which this room was originally only, I think maybe like right here. And then I took it much further down so that we could fit the, looting 3 system under here. This was streams and streams and streams of testing this thing to build this. Which will eventually have an entire video series, called the Mastercraft series, where I go through and I explain all this stuff in great detail on how we achieved this, why this doesn't work, why this does work. We're eventually going to make a series on it. So, because everybody's videos don't really talk about the small stuff of this, I'll give you an example. I would stand... Oh no, this is a basic auto sorter. This is just repeatable. This is my design in here. This is... The basic YouTubers, when I looked at their versions of this, were wrong. And I know because I built one. And I was like, okay, this is not how this works. Looting 3, I can stand up there and I was clogging the auto sorter instantaneously. No, I mean a basic one. So I mean just a simple one that would do this. Not one that needs a looting 3. We're just talking a basic auto sorter where you throw things in and it'll sort it on its own. But what made this really hard was the looting 3 loot drop. You were clogging the system and it would start spewing swords into the wrong place. Because I had originally a discharger. So what that would do is all the loot sits up at that platform where my trident killer is. And you would see a cluster of thick swords sitting on a block spinning around, which told me the loot's not getting into the system fast enough. Okay. So that spawned a whole ordeal of learning how to drain that fast enough to get it out of the, to get it off the blocks and into chests. Once we took that, I kept clogging it up. I couldn't get the materials out of the chest fast enough to get it in the sorters. I then wanted to auto-smelt the swords because the swords are a lot of gold that we're just passing up. Especially using gold as a trade item and the fact that I needed to heal, I needed more gold, so I made an auto-smelter. Played around with it, got the idea of getting swords to feed into it. Because everything's sorting out at one point, the swords have to go somewhere. The swords were originally going to go to just a lava discharger. Where basically it's a dropper, I believe is what it is, or dispenser that just clicks on an auto clock. And every time it ticks, it drops a sword. But I was like, that's wasted gold. So I figured out how to set it up to get it there. Now the issue came filtering out the remaining items, because the discharger, if you watched it, you would occasionally see a gold nugget fly out. You'd see a gold ingot. You'd see zombie flesh fly out. Why? Because your auto sorters weren't sorting properly. Even though you had the items there, you still needed more filtering. So we came up with a filtering system that worked. And finally I got it where the last test I did was, I think, 8.5 hours. I left the game running wide open, let it sit there with a looting 3 sword. I came back and I only had, I think, maybe this chest filled up. So I filled like 2 chests after 8 hours. Mission accomplished. We did it. And I went over and I checked this blast furnace right here. And I checked in here and there was not a single zombie flesh, a single gold nugget, or a single gold ingot sitting in this blast furnace. Which means my sorting system did its job, and I was able to filter everything pure enough that the only thing hitting that chest was swords. So we definitely learned a lot and spent a lot of time making this grinder. Also, here's another really sad, tragic story. This system here was... So, Bedrock doesn't work like Java, and everything you see about autoloaders is Java. So I had to come up with one that works for Bedrock. This hurt my brain for days. Low-key making me want to download it. See, there's so many different things that if I was playing with someone from the beginning, maybe I would have way more fun and experience, I think. You probably would. I could never wrap my head around how sorting systems work. They're not that complex once you understand the base premise of a sorting system. And the rules, I believe, are different depending on Java or Bedrock. So if we'll come up here and ruin this because it doesn't matter. If we come back here to this one. So let's go ahead and get into game mode survival. All right. So if we come over here and we look at the system, it's a, I forget I'm not in creative. It's basically a redstone, it's a redstone system. There's more, I'd have to go into creative to show you the side. This may not have been the best one to show. But anyway, it's about learning how to sort your items, because you have to learn about hopper locking and how hopper locking works. So we have comparators, which are reading the item, which is ticking it to drop something. So as an item moves, it ticks it and it allows it to drop into the next hopper when something comes across this. So this is what's a line that's bringing the stuff from the squid farm. Very simple process. You need the item you want to hopper lock plus 40 blocks on Bedrock for to lock this hopper. So as you see here, we have 5 glow squid ink and then 40 stackable items, which are dirt that's not the actual item. So the 45 is what locks on Java. Then the 5 is to make it to where anything that now hits this ink sac will drop because this is locked. It takes 45 to before it'll start dropping. Any squid ink that comes over this hopper will now go through into the chest. Now, the bones and the fish from the glow squid farm will now pass over the dirt on this upper rail of hoppers. We'll continue going through because it can't drop down. But now we come over here, we have the tropical fish. Great. The tropical fish will drop in here. And now if glow squid ink falls over, we got another glow squid section for it to fill up again. Now passing over this hopper line again is the bones. We now have the same thing again. If bones come across that, they're going to fall into here, and anything else will pass over, probably glow squid ink, so we have one more right here. The hopper locking system isn't really that isn't super complex once you get the idea that it's tileable, and it's this. It's a very, very easy thing to look at. You have your chests, hoppers feeding your chests. Simple. Then you need a line for your sorters. These are your locked hoppers on this line right here. So this line is what's going to have your materials in it. Now you need a line to carry it across the hoppers. No matter how this is, you need a line that comes across. In order to make the actual auto sorter, you need this system right here. A comparator to a redstone chain to down here. This has a redstone repeater to power the torch, which is going to trip the hopper. Creating this allows the sorter to work. So when an item comes across it, goes across. Despite my mods needing a separate degree to understand, the sorting system is actually easier to understand. It's really not that bad once you get into it. This looks way more complex than it really is when you realize that all you need to understand is this one line of information. This one block is just tiled over 3 more times. It's the same thing. Nothing else here is making this more complex. This one chest. Oh yeah, no, that's different, totally. Your modded ones? Yeah, I figured that's what you meant. But this is basically designed around trying to handle 300 items probably within the first few minutes. Between gold, zombie flesh, and swords. Swords are your most dropped loot. So, what's interesting about this design is once we come off of this original auto sorter here, it's just, it goes into this chest here. Whoops. Well, it doesn't matter. It's a creative world. It goes into the chest there, which, is the final, like, last collection chest, so that should be only swords. If any trash does make it into this, it's going to hit these two lines of auto sorters. That's going to go into this chest, which will be only swords. So good that we finally got that. And then blast furnace, and we're done. So, like I said, as Hellcrest said, probably 5 days of brain damage to figure this out. But as I was saying over here, you want to talk about brain damage, it was this. To make a auto loader in Java is really simple. It's one of the easiest things to do in terms of like basic redstone stuff. They're super easy to do. But in Bedrock, for some reason, this was a lot harder to get figured out than it should have been until I realized one thing. Dropping loot into this, we had to trip this to tell this to release this piston. So when this is full, it'll come and kick back up, but it will not reset this system. So when this triggers, it sends a cycle through into this hopper, which is nearly loaded, and it will release the piston, allowing a minecart to leave. This took way too much time off stream to get something like this figured out to allow a minecart to come up, fully load, unlock, and be sent back out. I wanted to punch a puppy in the face when I realized it was this. This was the thing I was missing. Having a hopper nearly loaded up so that it would recognize weight, because that's what this is comparing. It's comparing the weight here. So when this trips, it has a, you have a comparator going into this block, which is being powered into all this crap. And this comparator is reading off of this. So based off of this redstone signal, tells this, okay, you need to lock back up when you have this hopper full. Because it's basically an auto-canceling system is all this is. Because this block is being powered by this when it's locked. So this will flip the switch. The lights will be opposite of this. And it's just a simple redstone switch that turns off. This torch will turn off, which will turn this piston to tell it to lock. And all this is saying is it needs to weigh more than this hopper, what's inside this hopper, to unlock it. When I figured that out, I was so mad. Oh, and then the worst part is I can't even use this system once I got it developed. Render distance. This would be a great, and I mean an absolute great auto-sorting system on a server where people are around and it'll automatically still keep sending stuff. But in a single-player world, here's the sad thing. I'll show you where this ends up. When I send that chest, it despawns right about here. That room you saw is about where my crosshair is. It's a little bit right over there. Probably in that sand patch to be safe. It barely got moving. My room that I was trying to store it in, let's go on a journey. It would have had to have traveled all of this, which does work. You'll probably even see the minecart along the way. Oh, hi, there's my minecart. Oh, trust me, this was fully built when I realized I spent all this time for nothing. Again, why we're making the Mastercraft series
Hello
so
there.
that people actually know. Hello there. And then it comes up to a auto unloader. Now this one, stupidly easy to do. Worked flawlessly. Yes, but that's the issue, is if I change the simulation distance, it breaks the gold farm, it breaks the... and it's still not enough, by the way. I still, even with max sim distance, I couldn't get it here. I thought about building multiple rooms to do loading and unloading on. But the issue is, it still wouldn't be efficient enough for what I wanted it to do. So, sim distance breaks the biggest one that it breaks is the glow squid farm. But yeah, we had an unloader system here, and this was going to be an unloading, like, room that was designed to fill up the storage systems in here. It was going to be a great idea. I was super excited for this. But as I said, it's too far away. Because it's under here. Through this. Giga facepalm. Down that hole. And somewhere right around in there is the auto sorter. So, we learned a lot. It's been a crazy time here on this world, and one of my, like I said, one of my projects is going to be to actually put a hopper line to this, because this is in render distance, by the way. This thing still works. I thought about introducing a, somewhere down here, we were looking, I think it's in spectator mode. We were looking at a way to get that line run down here that I can use, that I can put a iron farm in here. So if we have the gold auto sorter right here on this wall, I was curious, could I actually fit it in somewhere over in here? To where you would like come through right maybe over here and build a auto sorter right in here. Like kind of like right where I'm standing in the world. And have a little small gold auto or iron auto sorter with a bunch of chests so that it's not just getting absolutely destroyed up there. With stuff. It's a lot of hoppers, but I also have a lot of iron. And it's a lot of mining to get it down here. I mean, realistically, all I would have to do is just come straight over, straight down. Aw, snap! Here he comes! Ace, welcome back to the Plot Hunters. Welcome back for 39 months, dude. The second highest subscriber of my account. Did I see the awful Borderlands thing? Yes. I didn't see the trailer, I saw the preview, and, I can't believe Randy Pitchford actually signed off on this. I'm very disturbed that he actually said, yes, you can make that. I haven't seen the trailer yet. I'm hoping it's slightly better. But I have no hope in it. No hope. Anyway, let's grab this real quick. Can we get some plots in chat there for Ace? Thank you so much for the continued support, man. I really do appreciate it. I don't understand what they were doing. I'm gonna be real. I quite don't grasp it. Like, one look at that trailer, and I said, of the teaser trailer that was released yesterday, and I was like, Kevin Hart. As Roland. Jack Black is probably Claptrap. Why couldn't we get the actual voice actor of Claptrap at least? Why? It's... Old Lady Lands. Yeah. I mean, Jamie Lee Curtis's Tannis might make sense. I'd have to see it actually played out. Because I do kind of like Jamie Lee Curtis in certain things. But knowing that she's a siren and how young she is in the game doesn't make sense. But I would be willing to give, like, that a small chance. Everything else feels... Why? Why? Why did we do this? It feels forced, if that makes sense. Ugh. Like, maybe it'll surprise us. I highly doubt it. But I assume the real trailer's out, right, Ace? And that's what you're talking about? How old is she? Google it. She is 54 years old. You're telling me out of all the females, I need to go do the do. I'm about to get off myself here in just a minute. Happy playing with cubes. Thank you very much. That you couldn't find a single female out there who is in her 20s to 30s that actually gave off great Lilith vibes. Out of all the females out there. Like, I get it. She's Hela. Hela was cool. I get that, you know, she's been in some great stuff. But, like... Hela made sense, though. Asgardian. Lots of makeup. Who cared? But we're talking Lilith. Darn. That's rough. Well, yeah, we get that. Like I said, there's a certain amount of that I understand. Like, I'll vibe with the idea of Thor's older sister. I can get behind that, but that doesn't make sense. Like I said, Jamie Lee Curtis, I could kind of get behind. But... because she plays a prude really well. So it's like, why I kind of don't mind. But, again, why couldn't you found somebody in their 30s? Or 20s who plays a prude really well? whatever. This seems like a they're trying to make a super comedy of a joke of something actually serious. Yeah. I can see that. I can definitely see that. All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up, because I can't do anything else today at this point. So let's see, who are we gonna throw this over to today? Today might be a Hex City day. Oh, hold on. We need to go raid Nova. That's who we need to go raid. Alright, so let's go ahead and shut YouTube and X down real quick, and then we're going to throw this raid over to... I'm going to shut all over this trader. Oh, I bet you... Is this going to be your rant incoming part of your podcast? That I've got it. God, I've got to hear that. I cannot wait to hear you flame this thing. Rant incoming. He's gonna put it up, and honestly, you should probably put a little parental advisory sticker. I can see you going off on this. All right, but anyway, let's get this wrapped up. Tomorrow we'll be back in the lands of deserts, killing shrooms. We've got, I think, 2 more days left. Or a day left, whatever I can get done today. After dinner, I'll try to get done. But we'll be back with that tomorrow. As soon as we finish up the Atanis grind, things are going to go back to a more normal schedule. And we'll start doing some more variety of things again. But we'll be back on tomorrow morning around... I don't think I'll be on at 6 a.m. I think I'll be on at 7 a.m. Because of where we're at. I don't think I need it. But I'll do the math because I'd like to get it over by the weekend. And we might end up doing something different on the weekend. So we'll see. But y'all take care. Thank you so much for the continued support, Ace. I always appreciate it. 39 months, you're a real one. You and Narama are so darn close to being... How close y'all are is actually quite scary. But no, thank you so much for the continued support. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Like I said, 7 a.m. my time, 3 hours ago your time. We'll be continuing on the Crack Desert grind. And I hope you'll have a wonderful rest of your day.